You've had Wendy's nugs dipped in sauce, but have you had them covered in sauce? Wendy's new saucy nugs take the crispy and spicy nugs you love and turn them up to 11. Choose between flavors like buffalo or honey barbecue, garlic parm, or if you're a real heat seeker out there, you can try spicy ghost pepper only on Wendy's signature spicy nugs. Listen, I'm going to dare you to do it. I dare you. That's 7 delicious ways to try the nugs that you already love. Pick a flavor, grab some extra napkins, and then grab a few more napkins and prepare to nug like you've never nugged before. For a whole new way to nug, it's got to be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
What's up, Cal fans? We are back with the very special episodes, the Golden Tweets. Tweet, tweet. My name's Andy. Alongside me is Rob. We are a proud partner of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. This is, of course, the Golden Bearcast. And as is tradition, we actually have some sad news first to share, that as we have been enjoying this tradition of Rob imitating the You've Got Mail person. We now know it's a person, not a robot. I was not certain of that. That sadly, the voice of You've Got Mail passed away last week.
I believe so. I'm pulling up the article real quick.
Rest in peace.
Elwood Edwards.
Good name.
Yeah.
Elwood Edwards. Did we ever expect to be talking about Elwood Edwards on one of our Cal podcasts? Probably not.
Nope.
But now, no pressure, Rob, to honor Elwood Edwards, Rob is going to give his most heartfelt and powerful impression to kick us off for Golden Tweets.
You've got mail. Might not have been the best one.
Good.
Might not have been the best one.
The intention behind it was electric.
Okay.
I could tell that this moment mattered. You came at that and you were like, I'm doing it for Elwood.
I'm reading as I read about this over this last week. It's crazy, the connections. Like he recorded that in the year of my birth in 1989. So it's like we've come full circle. We've come full circle on this. So yeah, he's sadly passed away earlier this week or last week.
Well, on that damper of a note, we are going to transition over to our Golden Tweets. And again, we will come back at the end of the season and use our new fancy feature where we can showcase the You've Got Mail sound and compare it to Rob. Maybe we'll cut your best one, decide which one's your best. Anyways,
okay,
let's get into it. What do our fans think after we beat Wake Forest?
All right, we only got 3 because I sent out the tweet late. So if you guys are listening to this and you're like, why wasn't my tweet read? I promise you we'll get to it next week. It's just I sent out the tweet too late, and so I don't think a lot of people saw it. But we will get to it next week. Sid sends us a tweet. When comparing the teams that Syracuse has played so far, which team is the most comparable to Cal? And do you think the outcome of that game could be similar to the results of Cal-Syracuse?
I think it's NC State, and I hope not.
I haven't looked at their full schedule, but like I was looking at S&P Plus, and our dear Lord and Savior Bill Connolly with his advanced analytics. Cal is currently ranked 30th overall in S&P Plus, 30.9 rating on offense with and 40th overall offense. Defense is 22.5 with overall 35th purely on defense. So that's where we rank. In terms of Syracuse is ranked 60th.
I don't think
So-
NC State's going to be close to 30th. 30th is so good. That's ridiculous.
30th is really good. Let me take a look at what Syracuse's schedule has been this past season. Syracuse football. They have some weird games, man. They play UConn end the season. I'm like, what? All right, so they beat Pitt. Oh no, sorry, that's 23. They beat Pitt. They beat Ohio, like not Ohio State, just Ohio. And then they beat Georgia Tech. They lost to Stanford. They beat Holy Cross. They beat UNLV in overtime. They beat NC State. They got crushed by Pitt. And then they beat Virginia Tech, and then they lost to Boston College. I think comparable
weird.
team's probably going to be Boston College, just from a record perspective. I think Boston College 5-4. Yeah, we're 5-4.
What's Boston College S&P Plus?
Boston College S&P Plus is. Let's see if it's on this screenshot I got. If not, I won't have it. Boston College is not here. It's not. I have a screenshot of 10 to 43, and Boston College is not in there.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm assuming they're not in the top 10.
Yeah.
So we can assume that they're 43 and below.
Yeah. Pitt is at 37. So you could argue Pitt is probably the most comparable in terms of the statistics. And we played Pitt tight, and Pitt destroyed Syracuse. So,
Well, I hope that's that and not the Boston College 37-31.
yeah, Pitt beat them 41.
Although that would be very fun. Like the 37-31 would be a wild game to have attended. But given the 12 o'clock kickoff time and the fact that I will have my daughter with me, I don't expect I'll be able to see all of it. So I would prefer the 41-13.
Yeah, the game was the Pitt Syracuse game was a 31-0 at halftime.
Yeah, give me another one of the Oregon State games. That's a fun watch because
Just a clear
the
cut.
thing about being a Cal fan is we're not even comfortable when it is 31-0. So
No.
it's, hey, trust me, we're not losing interest after the first half. We're up 31-0. We're still locked in saying, hey, we'll find a way.
Where there's a will, there's
I feel
a way.
good about that. Yeah, Sid, there you go. Answered that question perfectly. Expect either a 37-31 win or a 31-7 win. Let's just say it'll be one of those two.
I think we're in drop 40 territory. It feels like it, at least just looking at them. And
Three straight drop 40s.
dude, and of course, look at they lost to Stanford. Like that Stanford S&P Plus is like 102. So like that tells you enough. Fun
I don't understand. I watched
Fun
that
fact.
game. I will say,
the Stanford Syracuse game?
yeah, I watched that game. Like, it's like Syracuse blew that game. They blew that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One fun fact I forgot to mention when we were recording our previous podcast. First time in Wilcox's career where his team has dropped back-to-back 40 points. First time at Cal that we've dropped back-to-back 40 points.
That is surprising.
That sounds surprising, right? I think we've gotten close, but it's never broken 40.
Wow.
But yeah. If anyone out there can correct me if I'm wrong, but from when Avi, me, and Nam were talking, and we were like looking up the stats, it looked like it. So, all right, next one from I am a meat to mere. This is a good tweet. What is an orange, anyways? A color, a mindset, or a small dickless fruit?
You could ask that question back-to-back weeks.
You could ask that every week. I do enjoy oranges.
Well, no, but I mean, like, all right, cardinal, right? What the hell is cardinal?
It's a color.
Orange, and then you can't ask that when there's a Mustang.
Well, I mean, but to be fair, to be fair, the reason we ask that to Stanford is because they say they're a cardinal, but then their mascot is a tree. Versus Syracuse, the mascot is an actual orange.
They lean into it.
They fully lean into it, and they're saying like we're not the color. Well, we are the color, but we're also like the actual physical orange, which is also
Like the
confusing too. Because like, is there any? Can they even like produce oranges out in northern New York? Is that possible? Is that like a temperature or climate that you can make oranges in?
I got nothing for you.
I'm just confused.
I was just gonna say something. I was like, I thought orange juice was made in Florida.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
In small batches in Northern California.
Yeah, most of the oranges I eat are from Florida or from Southern California.
So I do not know about.
If someone
good
can tell
old-
us, that'd be great.
But there's definitely apple farms out there, right?
There has to be. Apple's a fall fruit, so that makes sense. But does it get hot enough?
Because New York's having wildfires right now, so maybe
It's true. Well, to be fair, I think Seattle snowed today, so we're all over the place right now.
and it rained in the Bay Area, which
Yeah, it rained in the Bay Area today too. So, well, that's normal. We actually want the rain, but it's chaos everywhere. But I do not know. I do not know
orange
what
trees.
Do they have oranges out in Syracuse? Can you go to a farm and pick oranges in Syracuse? Is that a thing you can do?
I didn't ask. There's a tree of 40 fruit. The tree of 40 fruit is a series of fruit trees created by Syracuse University art professor and sculptor Sam Van Aken that can produce up to 40 different types of stone fruit, including peaches, plums, apricots, cherries, nectarines, and almonds. What? I think this is just art. Hold on. Can you go to an orange farm in Syracuse?
There are toys, and then there are freak-out-worthy toys. Toys that get big reactions like,
OMG, no way!
or,
Best present ever!
or,
It's what I've always wanted.
for those toys, you need Walmart. They've got exclusives from major brands like Disney, Barbie, and Adventure Force that you can't find anywhere else. Toys that make kids jump for joy.
Thank you.
And make you a hero for giving them. Shop hundreds of exclusive toys.
Yes.
Welcome to your Walmart.
I've got a lot of grandbabies, like a lot. And when it comes to finding a gift for each of them, it could add up. But this year, while I was making my way through Walmart, I realized I don't have to spend a lot to get the gifts they'll love.
An OPI mini Manny set! I'm gonna do so much nail art. Oh yeah! A Lego set! My own Awala water bottle!
Ooh, and that's just half of them.
Shop great gifts they're sure to love for $25 and under at Walmart.
Okay.
So on the Reddit, are the subreddit is Syracuse. Looking for Osage or Osage orange trees. Does anyone know if and where Osage orange trees are from in this area? I'm looking for a straight 6-inch section, not looking to cut illegally. It'd be perfectly happy to pay for it to cut it if it's growing on your property. It's a medium-sized thorny tree. You can see orange undertones in the bark. They grow the fruit the size of softballs that look like green brains. Sounds made up, but I'm totally serious.
I asked Gemini. Gemini said no, there are no oranges grown in Syracuse, New York. The climate there, as you said, Rob, is not suitable for growing citrus fruits like oranges.
Okay,
The orange
so
associated with Syracuse is the mascot of the university, Otto the Orange.
it is a pretty cool orange, but yeah. Okay, so much like Stanford, it kind of has nothing to do with the area. Or I guess in a weird way, Stanford's has to do with the area because it's the trees, but then Syracuse doesn't have anything to do with the area because it's a mascot that's based on the color. It's weird. It's weird.
This is so funny. The team there's like a get to know auto, and there's a picture of the OG orange mascot. Man, this is so good. Yeah, this is really cool. I love this. I have said that this was one of the games that I was most excited about, just because I don't know much about Syracuse. Obviously, know them more for Jim Boeheim and the triangle.
Basketball.
Well, yeah, basketball. Like, they were so good, and but I don't know much about them otherwise. And
Yep.
yeah, I like this. This is fun, and it's not an annoying patched together tree that gets suspended all the time. So
No.
they're doing something right.
Yeah, this game is what I say is the Adam Bowl. Like, our dear friend Adams went to Berkeley undergrad, went to grad school at Syracuse. So this is his game. He comes out on top regardless. No matter who wins, he comes out on top. There's no way he can
Let's
lose.
be honest. We need this. Cal needs this more than Syracuse. Come on.
They do. So I hope he's rooting for Cal. But who knows? Who knows? All right, we got one last question, and then this is going to be the majority of our conversation. Tyler asks, can you explain the bowl chances, or is it too late in the weeds still? I think we already talked about our bowl chances. It's like at 98% or something like that. We're favored. I think the Syracuse game, I think the betting odds came out. We were 7-point favorites, which I think was now pushed to 9.5. So that's where the line is right now. If we beat Syracuse, then it's like that's the moment we start dreaming out a bowl. Once we get to 6, it's like, yeah, that's when we start dreaming. I think it's going to happen this week. I think this is the week we get to 6. Andy and I were talking earlier in the previous podcast about where we could potentially be going to bowl. And I'm going to explain a couple of things to all the listeners so that we can have this conversation. First thing is, we're not tied to any ACC bowls because we're still tied to the Pac-12 bowls for the next 2 years, which means all the bowls, as they're picked, will be picked as if the Pac-12 still is in existence. It'll go by record, placed, and on. A couple of the big things is Oregon going to the playoffs, which pushes everyone up a game. And then Colorado potentially getting into the playoff, which also pushes everyone up a game. So that's and then everyone else will fall down in order. So that's the kind of thing. And the last thing, of course, most of the time, a bowl won't pick the same team that went to their bowl the last year. So Independence Bowl for us, if we get bowl eligible, out of the question.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a couple others. I think UCLA going to the LA Bowl, I believe, is out because UCLA was in the LA Bowl last year, or it was SC in the LA Bowl, and then Vegas.
No, you're right.
So, yeah. So a couple of those are out. You can pick within, I think, 1 or 2 slots of like the teams remaining from where you pick. So that's kind of the allotment that will go. So
I watched that Texas Tech Colorado game, Rob. I can't do it. I can't root for Colorado. I will not, I just cannot. I can't say why. Because I think it's such a stupid perspective that I have, but I just cannot stand the way that team behaves at all. I just cannot do it. Like and I like Dion. That's the thing. It's like I actually really like Dion, but I just cannot watch them play football. It's like watching LeBron James, except there's 11 players. There's 11 LeBrons, and they're not like as good as LeBron or even close, but they seek the ref's attention the same way that LeBron seeks the ref's attention, and it drives me bananas. That's all I'll say about that.
yeah. All right. So let me let me transition. So let me run you down the bowls that are currently tied to the Pac-12. It's the LA Bowl on December 18th, hosted by Gronk at SoFi Stadium in LA. Followed by the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl at Allegiant Stadium on December 27th, followed by the Valero Alamo Bowl in the Alamo Dome on December 28th, and then the Radiance Technology Independence Bowl in Independence Stadium on December 28th, and then the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl at the Sun Bowl Stadium on December 31st. The one date that's not there is the 2024 DirecTV Holiday Bowl at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. That is not in this press release, but I believe they do have a date set for that. I'll look it up as we talk. But so with all the caveats that we talked about, with potential guys going up and moving up into different bowl games, there's actually a guy on Reddit who makes a chart every single week after to see what the standings will be for the now defunct Pac-12. And so Oregon, of course, is at the top, followed by Colorado. A couple of teams are like right there in that second tier. So Arizona State's right there. Washington is right there. We're like one loss behind them. And I believe there's one more team. I can't remember.
What about Wazoo? Aren't they like
and Wazoo.
close
Yeah,
to the
sorry.
playoff?
So those are the three teams. So Wazoo probably won't get into the playoffs because Boise State probably will. I think if Wazoo went undefeated, I don't think they take both, but I think they take one of them. So
Is there only? I thought there was I thought they had like multiple at-large bids.
I feel like but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be G5, right? Do you take
Yeah.
Do you take an 11-1 Wazoo or do you take a 10-2 Tennessee?
11-1 Wazoo.
Yeah, that's our thinking, but it depends on who you lost to, right? So, or 10-2 Georgia.
Who'd they lose to? Boise State?
I believe so. Was it? No, that was the UNLV game.
Did you see because you brought up Georgia, that this, like, I feel really bad for this guy, but he apparently like ran into his friend from his high school team that he's like super close to, and everyone was jumping around him.
The
So he
celebration.
was like jumping up and down.
Yeah.
And he had to put out like an actual press release, and
Yeah.
Kirby Smart just called him an idiot, and I was like, dude, what? How, like,
I think,
what? Come on, Kirby. That's ridiculous. At least have your players back, man. It was an innocent mistake. It's crazy. They're kids. They're kids, dude. They're college kids. Like, come on. It's ridiculous. An idiot? Just say he made a mistake. He made a mistake. He celebrated with his friend on the field.
Probably because he lost. That's probably why he's more upset. It's Wazoo lost to Boise State, and they got crushed. It was 45-24. So that's probably why they're not making it into the playoffs. But yes, so all that taking into account, I think the Alamo, the Holiday Bowl picks first. I think the Alamo Bowl picks second, followed by the Vegas Bowl, followed by the Sun Bowl, and then it's LA Bowl, and then it's Independence Bowl. So depending on where we end up at the end of the season in our overall record, I think the most likely situation, if we win next week and this week and next week, we fall right into that B tier. So Holiday Bowl probably gets Washington State, Alamo Bowl probably gets Arizona State, and then everything else is up for grabs.
And does this look at our conference record?
It's probably just going to go by overall record. What you're allowed to do is you don't have to take the team that's left that's at the top. You're allowed to take, like, I think one team below that record.
Right.
So if it gets to, let's say, the Vegas Bowl, and it's like us and, I don't know, let's just say SC gets bowl eligible, which they might not at this rate, but let's say they do. Like Vegas, and we're below SC, like they're allowed to take us. So I did see a fun tweet, Andy, that I'm gonna bring up. I'm gonna bring this up to you. I don't know if it's not likely that this is gonna happen, but mathematically there is a chance that Cal plays Alabama in the Vegas Bowl.
What?
Yeah, because the Vegas Bowl is SEC tied.
Dude, could you imagine
That's what
how
I'm saying.
upset the Alabama fans will be to be playing us?
Half their team wouldn't be playing because they're going to the league.
Kalen is in trouble. But I thought Alabama was in the playoff picture after
Not
this
anymore.
last week. They just beat LSU, didn't they?
Yeah, but they have 3 losses.
It's so confusing. It's funny. I love it though.
They lost to Vanderbilt. Like, come on.
Vandy is tight, dude.
Not if you're
They only
not
have
if you're a
two-
Bama fan.
They only have 2 losses.
I don't think. Yeah, I think the Vandy loss is a bad loss.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
for them.
which is why I don't think they'll get in.
Did Vandy? Who else did Vandy beat? They beat Alabama and someone else. Auburn. Yeah. And they barely missed beating on Texas.
Did you see?
Although I think I watched that game. It wasn't as close as the score says
Did
it
you
was.
see that Vandy's quarterback Diego Pavia has beaten Hugh Freeze at every time he's played him,
I love that.
which is I think so good
Yeah, it's so good.
at different spots. At different
Yeah,
stops.
but Bama,
So good.
Bama, it's just Tennessee and Vandy. I don't know. The 42-13 win at LSU was a pretty big win for them. And then they have a joke of a game against Mercer next week, so won't count that. They play Oklahoma. They probably get a win there. And they play Auburn. They have they're going to go 3-0 to close the season. So I think they'll probably make the playoff. I think they're in. But that would be wild. And then guess what would happen is, Nick Saban would say, hey, you know what? After watching those Cal Bears play against my former team, I got to jump in and tell Coach Wilcox to just take a 2-year hiatus while I take the California Golden Bears to the promised land. And then you talk about full circle. I think that's it. Right?
yeah. So where would you want to go?
You say yes. You're like, oh yeah, for sure.
You blanked out for a second there too. So I was like, what are you talking about?
That's it. That's the cherry on top of the season is that Nick Saban ends up as the Cal head coach.
That's that. Okay. I mean, I have the pictures. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go with it. So whenever you get that inside info that's happening, I will release my photoshopped image of Nick Saban wearing a blue and gold necktie onto the internet. I guarantee you the internet has
break
never
that
seen
news.
something like that before. Yeah.
The Bearcast Twitter handle will break the news that Nick Saban is unretiring and is coming to coach the California Golden Bears for 2 seasons to take them to the promised land.
All right. We kind of talked about it in the previous pod, but Andy, if you were to rank these bowl games out of the Pac-12 ones, what's your top 3 that you would want to go to?
LA, because it gives us the most potential opportunities to attend. So it's very selfish.
Ooh, but does it though? That's a good. That's the question I would pose. A Wednesday?
Is it a Wednesday?
It's a
Is
Wednesday.
it a Wednesday?
It's a Wednesday. It's
Yeah,
Wednesday,
that's easy
December
flight.
18th. For some of us, but I think for the majority of people, I think it's a working day.
No, I mean it is a working day, but what time do I be? What is it during the day?
I don't know what time it is. Let me look it up. But yes, continue.
Well, if it's at 5, I'll fly down at 3, get in 4:30, hit the LA traffic. I'll be there by halftime.
We have joked around, but about how funny it would be. It's 6 p.m. How funny it would be is if we fed Gronk Malort.
Yes.
If the algorithm got to the point where we fed Gronk Malort, I think that would be the cherry on top of the season.
That's a little bit more realistic. I think that flying in the night before, staying with a friend, work from home, all that stuff, it's way more possible. Vegas is harder because of the mid-holiday fairs.
Yep.
I think that'll be, but a little bit more fun, and definitely to get to go to Allegiant Stadium would be super cool, where we were supposed to go to kick off the season. That didn't happen because of COVID. And then, so that would be so LA, Vegas. You know what a sneaky pick would be? But I don't even know where they have this game. I'm assuming that it's at Petco. But I would love to go back to the Holiday Bowl
Oh, it's at Snapdragon Stadium. It's that new. It's the new San Diego State Stadium that they built. I believe, where old Qualcomm was, and it's brand new. I think that's where San Diego State's going to be playing. That's where the new NWSL Women's Soccer League team is going to be playing as well.
Cool.
It's really cool. It's a really cool looking stadium.
Yeah. Oh, I would love. I mean, I loved going to that game, and yeah, it would be great to go back. And San Diego is the absolute best. So, yeah, those would be my 3. What about you?
I'm pretty sure I'm on the same boat. I think it's Holiday Bowl just because it's San Diego, LA Bowl because it's LA, Vegas Bowl because it's Vegas Bowl. I don't really feel the urge to travel to Texas in the new to spend Christmas / New Year's. 28th of December and 31st of December. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm perfectly fine with any of those things. And then I talked about it in the previous pod. If we go to Vegas, we have the podcast studio, and I that was my dream to use that podcast space if we went there for the season opener to do a preview pod. So I guess we can kind of do a wrap up pod there with all the guys and everyone that's going to be there. I think it'd be cool to have just guests floating in and out. And every time someone, I was joking around with Nam about this. If we go on a live stream, it's if we hit we have sub goals. If we get to 100 subs, we'll shave Nam's head.
Oh my gosh. I love that you said the wrap the day after. Yeah, we'll do it the day after podcast. After the Cal game in Vegas, we'll line them up 9 a.m. the next morning.
The hangover pod.
Grab them right out of the casino. Hey, you didn't sleep all night? Come hop on the podcast. Say some things you'll regret.
Everything is recorded. Nothing is not recorded. Oh, man.
I like the sub goal. Does that mean it's on YouTube Live?
Yeah, we would put it on YouTube Live. It has to be on YouTube Live, right?
Wow. All right. Well, Vegas or bust for me then.
Yeah. Just to confirm for you, Holiday Bowl is the 27th of December. So lovely.
Rough flights again.
Rough flights. But yeah, that wraps it up for us here on Golden Tweets. You got anything else, Andy?
I think I'm just channeling all my inner positivity towards us getting 6 wins. Mm-hmm. Whole family's coming out for the Syracuse game. I'm so excited for that. I cannot tell y'all that enough about how amazing it is to have your kid at the game, experience Cal football. And her first game was NC State, or well, not her first game, but her first game this season was NC State. So it really can only go up from there. And I'm so excited. I might actually check out Tailgate Town, and I get access to that, which is sweet. I meant to shout this out. Thank you for giving me the last second monologue, Rob. Mike Pulowski wrote a book on leadership, and it's doing really well on Amazon and for leadership, and it's all about his career, and he talks a lot about Cal. So I have it on my Kindle. I can't wait to read it. It's coming right up. I just finished Matthew McConaughey's book. It was also amazing. I'm reading Trevor Noah's book right now, and then I'm going to dive into Pulowski's. But support. I think it's gone really well. And he said on the radio broadcast a few weeks ago, just how amazing it's been. Having the chance to connect with fans and seeing the reaction. He didn't expect any of it. And it's great to be able to learn from somebody like that and to support your fellow Golden Bear and somebody that I think is a really good color commentator. And always really enjoy listening to the radio broadcast.
He's a rival podcast host, Andy. Can't be talking about our rivals like that.
It's all love. It's all love.
We joke.
In the Golden Bear community, it's all love, my friends.
All right. Anything else? That was a lovely little way to end the pod.
That's all I got. Take us home.
All right. Well, that was Golden Tweets for you. And we'll be back next week. Once again, if we didn't get to your tweets, it's because I sent the tweet out late. And we will definitely be answering it next week on the post-Syracuse Golden Tweets episode. And from myself and Nitty, as always, go Bears.
Go Bears.